speaking from the Advanced Communication Manual, project number 3. The objective is the moral of the story, and the time of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Our speaker's credibility, he has attachments. The title of the speech is Attachments. So please join me in welcoming Joseph.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. A couple of quotes. You can't take it with you when you go. Another quote from lyricist Robert Hunter from the Grateful Dead. All that you've had to live for is what you've left behind. Two quotes that deal with attachments. We might think of monetary attachments to money or possessions, but we can be attached to many different things. And the next couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you a story about a man who had attachments. This is a story of a man named Charlie. Charlie lived in a huge metropolitan city, and he was a very plain and simple man, and he worked in a bank. Maybe some of you bankers here can relate to Charlie. But Charlie went to work every day, and he did his job. He was a married man with no children. But what made Charlie different than many of his other colleagues and friends was he was passionate about music. He just loved music to all end. In all his spare times, he had his earbuds in his ears. He was constantly exploring new music. When he got home, he could not wait to finish dinner, head out into his den with his listening room, and explore his huge collection of vinyl and CDs. This man was just obsessed with music. Well, Charlie's life was in a change in a very extreme day, and it was just a very normal day like many other days. Charlie went to work, he arrived at his office, and his boss said, well, today you have to take inventory in the vault. It's way deep downstairs of the bank building. So Charlie went down the stairs and opened up the huge bank vault door. This was an old-time bank. It still had old-fashioned doors that were very, very thick. And so he was supposed to take inventory that day of what was in the vault. It was going to take him a couple hours. So he had his trusty iPod in his ears, and he proceeded to do his counting. Well, a couple of hours later, he walked upstairs, and what he saw changed everything. While he was in the bank vault, a nuclear blast had taken place. It leveled everything. The bank was gone, all the people were gone. As far as he knew it, the whole city was gone, the whole country perhaps. He could not see anything. He was in truly shock and amazement, but he had survived the blast. He thought, well, what am I going to do? I'm a lonely man, all alone in this big world now. And what he didn't know is that this particular bomb, there was no nuclear fallout, so he could actually walk down the streets and nothing would happen to him. So he proceeded to walk down the street, deciding, what am I going to do for all of the rest of my life? Well, he saw a library, and he thought, well, maybe by chance, deep down in the stairs of the library, like I survived, maybe there's some books that survived. And he was not an avid reader, but he thought, well, I can definitely catch up on my reading now. There's no one to interrupt me. So he proceeded down the stairs, and once again, just like the bank vault, he saw this huge door. Why would they have this big door deep below the library? So he opened up this door, and what he saw just blew him away. He saw somebody had set up a listening room. There was a listening room with a state-of-the-art vintage sound system, turntable, CD player, even an iPod loaded with tunes. How this came to be, we don't know. But there was a state-of-the-art sound system. Charlie thought, I've died and almost gone to heaven. I can listen to music and not be interrupted by anybody. And luck has it, he actually saw that this sound system was hooked up to a generator. It was a solar generator with wind power also. So he's hooked up for life, as long as the wind and the sun keep shining. So he was just elated. He goes, man, no more wife bugging me, no more friends bugging me. I can just listen uninterrupted for the rest of my life. So he went through the whole huge collection. What am I going to listen to? What's going to be the first thing I'm going to start my listening party with? Well, he went to the Bees and he saw the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Perfect condition, pristine. So he set it on the turntable. And there was some really nice headphones. He goes, well, I'm really going to get into this. I'm going to put the headphones on, and I'm going to get started to jam. And he turned the power button on, and what happened next was terrifying. Somebody had left the volume all the way up, and apparently the blast had malfunctioned the sound system, and screech! The sound system fed back into a loud, screeching noise that pierced Charlie's hearing. He ripped off the headphones immediately, but he heard nothing but ringing in his ears. He thought, well, hopefully I give it an hour or two and this ringing will subside. Charlie gave it 2, he gave it 3, he gave it several days. Charlie's hearing never came back. He was alone in the world with access to all this music, but with no ears to listen to it. Just like that, his attachment to music was gone in the blink of an eye. We all have attachments, some to a greater degree or to a lesser degree, but they can be taken away from us in a blink of an eye. I'd like to thank Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone for the inspiration of this story. Madam Toastmaster.